Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful story. It's about a humble farmer named Ramjan, a man whose character is about to be put to the ultimate test. This is a classic tale of integrity versus greed, and it all kicks off with a single hopeful harvest. You can just feel the relief in his voice, can't you? After borrowing money and pouring his entire soul into that land, Ramtan and his wife Sunita finally see a real future taking root. And we're not talking about getting rich here. It's something so much more valuable: security. Just the chance for their children to eat well, maybe even go to school. For the first time in a very long time, hope feels real. And just like that, everything changes. The sky just opens up and a storm of absolutely devastating force unleashes itself. This isn't just some rain. It's a destructive flood that's threatening to wash away not just the crops, but every single one of their dreams along with them. The storm was an absolute catastrophe. Ramjan rushes to his field only to find it completely underwater. The entire harvest just gone. With no food, no money, and a big debt hanging over his head, he's left with only one option: to go and beg for a little mercy from the man he owes. So this is a moment of pure, raw desperation. Ramdan goes to the local moneylender, a man named Seth Hariram, and just lays it all out on the table. He's not trying to get out of his debt, he's just asking for a little more time, a little bit of compassion to get back on his feet after a natural disaster completely wiped him out. The response he gets is just ice cold. The moneylender's reply is brutal and it's final. He basically says, "I care about the contract, the paper, not your feelings." And with those words, Ramdan doesn't just lose his harvest, he loses his ancestral land, his home, everything. And right there, the core conflict is set: a man of integrity against a man of pure, uncut greed. So, cast out with nowhere else to go, Ramdan leads his family to the only place left for them: the wilderness. They find shelter in this broken-down little hut on the edge of the forest, and they have to start all over again with absolutely nothing but each other. Their entire life has been turned completely upside down. This really shows you the sheer grit of Ramdan's new reality. I mean, this isn't just a temporary struggle. It's a relentless, back-breaking cycle. Every single day, he is pushing himself to his physical limits just to put a tiny bit of food on the table for his family. And yet, in the middle of all this grueling poverty, something incredible happens. The family doesn't fall apart. They actually grow closer. They share what little they have without a single complaint, finding their strength not in what they own, but in each other. And this resilience, this kind of hidden hope, it becomes their most valuable asset. Okay, this is where the story takes a really fascinating turn. One day, driven to find more wood so he can earn just a little extra money, Ramdan goes deeper into the forest than he ever has before. He's pushing into totally unfamiliar territory, and this is the day his life changes forever. As evening starts to set in, the situation gets pretty dire. He's completely lost. All the paths have disappeared, and to make everything worse, another storm starts to roll in. He's exhausted, he's alone, he's trapped. It must feel like the entire world is against him all over again. And just when he's about to give up all hope, he sees it. A faint glow, way off in the distance. What is that? A house? A fire? Fear starts mixing with this desperate curiosity. And with absolutely nothing left to lose, he stumbles toward that mysterious light. So the light leads him to a cave, but as he steps inside, he finds himself in a whole other world. It's a hidden, magical village where everything, the houses, the streets, even the people, they all seem to be made of pure gold. He's just stumbled into a place that shouldn't even exist. When he's brought before the king of this golden village, Ramdan isn't greedy, he isn't demanding, he just tells his story with plain, simple honesty. He explains his hardship, his struggle to feed his family. There's no drama, no self-pity, just the simple, powerful truth of his situation. So the king reveals this really important detail. This magical place, it only appears to people who are true of heart and totally free from greed. And because he's so moved by Ramdan's integrity, he gives him a small chest of gold coins. Not to make him a rich lord, but to give him a chance to rebuild the life that was so unfairly stolen from him. Ramdan returns home, and the very first thing he does is repay his debt to the moneylender, Hariram, in gold. But this act of honor totally backfires. See, when Hariram sees the gold, he's not filled with relief. He's consumed by suspicion and this intense envy. He becomes obsessed with finding out where Ramadan got this sudden wealth. His obsession leads him to cook up this simple but pretty foolish plan. He starts spying on Ramadan, and then, one day, he secretly follows him on his journey back to the magical village, his mind just racing with thoughts of all the riches he's sure he deserves. This is the core theme of the story, right here in action. The exact same cave judges both men, but it judges them based on what's in their hearts. Ramadan entered out of need and was rewarded for his character. Hari Ram enters with nothing but pure greed, and the cave reacts very, very differently. The moment Hari Ram steps inside, this booming voice confronts him. The cave itself rejects him, explaining that its treasures are a reward for honesty, not some prize for the greedy. And as guards appear and literally drag him away into the darkness, his own character becomes his downfall. Now, with the moneylender gone and his future finally secure, Ramadan doesn't get lazy or complacent. Nope. He uses his good fortune wisely. He starts a small firewood business, he provides for his family, and he earns the deep respect of his entire village. He's still the same humble, hardworking man he always was. And then, sometime later, another twist. A royal messenger from the Golden Village shows up with an urgent message. The king, who's now old and doesn't have any children to succeed him, has summoned Ramadan back to the palace. The king's offer is just staggering. He explains that they've been watching Ramadan all this time. They saw how he handled both extreme poverty and sudden wealth, and they've decided that his unwavering integrity, his hard work, and his compassion are the true qualities of a leader. He wants Ramadan to be the next king.
After a long night of deep thought, Ramadan accepts. But here's the thing. He doesn't accept as a ruler who's going to be sitting on a throne. He accepts with complete humility, promising to serve the people and make sure that no one ever suffers the kind of injustice that he once did.
And this final lesson that he teaches his own son, it just captures the essence of his entire journey. He passes down the most important legacy of all, the understanding that true leadership is really about service, not about power. It's just a beautiful end to his story arc. So this story, which started in a washed-out field, ends in a palace, and it leaves us with a really powerful question to think about. What is the true measure of wealth? Is it the gold you can hold in a chest, or is it the character that earns it in the first place? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.